Hey, what's going on? All right. So in the last video, we basically just created the nav bar right here. When we explained that we needed to have this broken down into different sections, and I'll label them with these comments to kind of know where I am and what I'm doing. So we're gonna need to turn these into separate components so that we don't have all of this code into one place. By doing so, we can separate this piece of code for the mobile menu into its own component. So if we ever need to come into the site and fix something, we can only work inside that component, and we don't have to come and mess around with this entire navbar. We can fix it over there in the mobile menu button right here that we created. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to cut this. Just gonna Control X, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna create my own component, which is called mobile menu button, and I'm gonna bring it in here, and I'm going to reformat this the correct way. All right, so for right now, this is gonna cause some issues, and I'm not gonna save it because it's gonna throw a big red flag in here. I don't want to do all that. I do know that if I hover over this, it tells you that it's not defined. It's because it needs to be brought up, it needs to be imported. So I'm just gonna bring all of this and get rid of that React, put it over here, and then clean up a little bit. Take that off, bring this up to its own thing, and I don't need any of these. All right, so I just needed this one, and I don't need this bell icon in this file. So now you can see they all went away. All right, here we have a ternary function, and we're going to talk about this in a minute. But I don't need this because I only have a single line of code. So just to make it a little bit simpler, I like to just kind of reformat some of the code that comes from other places into something that I am used to reading, and I'm used to reading it this way. So now for you, maybe you like those parentheses, you want to keep them, it doesn't hurt it. All right, so let's read over this a little bit. So first thing is we have a wrapper class over here with some CSS classes, and then you have this disclosure button, which is a component from Tailwind, that basically tells you that this button right here is for the purpose of opening something that is hidden. That's what disclosure means. It's just a name, but it's just a button. And it has a bunch of classes here that we're gonna go over eventually once we start talking about CSS classes from Tailwind. And I'm gonna discuss what these mean and how do you get them. What is a BG grade 700? Like, how do you get what is a 700? What is a 600? 500? How do you get this stuff? Where are they? We're gonna talk about that eventually. So don't worry about this. Don't feel too overwhelmed. And then we have the main stuff over here for the that is going to make it work. Well, actually, this right here is not really main, but this right here is basically for screen readers only. So this open main menu won't show up. As you can see, it's not there, but it's basically hidden away, and it's supposed to only work for people who have trouble seeing and they can actually use the screen on the internet. So they have this audio software that they use, that it reads the website to them so they can hear where they are. So by having that tag SR only, screen reader only, they know that when they tab with the keyboard, because I don't have a mouse, right? They can see, they're blind. When they tab over that menu button, the menu will say open main menu, and then they'll know where they are, they'll know what it does. So this is for accessibility purposes, just in case you were wondering. And now we get to our first prop. This is a prop, okay? So how do I even know it's a prop? Okay, well, first of all, it's just a trivial name. It's just a trivial name that doesn't mean anything. Like if you come over here and say open, it's like, well, what does that mean? Open what? Well, it's because it's a prop name, and it could be anything. It could be Lewis. It could be handle. It could be anything you want it to be. Anything you want it to be named. Okay, it's just basically a prop that will hold a value. In this very case, because this is carrying a ternary function, and like I said, I'm expecting that you guys know some JavaScript in order to be in this course, but because it's holding a ternary function, this variable or prop is holding a Boolean value. So if the handle or the open or whatever it was called is true, then show this icon, or if it's false, then show this icon. One thing I want, I'll do that later. All right, so now that we have this prop available, we're gonna leave it where it was, because I do want to explain something later. We're gonna leave it as open. So now that that is done, I think this can be saved now. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. So now if we come back to the nav bar here, we can actually bring that in. Import mobile, there it is. Import mobile menu button from its own folder right there where it is, with, you know, so that's the path for it, that's fine. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bring this mobile menu button, and I'm gonna come here where the mobile menu button needs to be, and I'm going to bring it in just like this. So now if I save it, I have some stuff here that I don't need anymore, so I'm just gonna clean that up so I can get rid of the red line that was showing there. Alright, so now if I look at it, you can see that it's an X. Like, it's not really, it's not, where's the menu? And now it's an X. What's going on? And that's not how it was supposed to work. It was a different one. So it's not working the way I want it to work, right? And the reason why is because we have the classes already. We have classes that we specify over here, and we are declaring it to be open already. And then if it's open, then go ahead and do it like this. So now one thing I wanted to specify is that when you can see here that open equals open and just too many opens, right? So what does this really mean? This is the name of the prop, and this is the value of the prop. In this case, the prop is named open, and then when you bring it in, you know, it's saying here. But the problem why it's not working properly is because I never was able to export this value. So when it comes over here and it tries to read open, it really doesn't understand what is going on. So it's going to go with whatever is defaulted. So in order for this to work, I have to make sure that this prop value from the component that I created is passed as an argument, so that when it gets over here, it can be captured, it can be caught. So this is the thrower, and this is the catcher. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do this and pass the prop into here and save it. All right, and now here's my icon again, and everything works just fine. Okay. Now this is a little confusing. There's way too many freaking open things, and it's hard to tell which one is which. Remember when I said that this is basically a name? It could be anything. It could have been Lewis, right? And then you pass it here as Lewis then. Well, you could do this, and then when you do that, obviously now it's not going to work again. Trust me, it's not. Now when you get over here, you're going to be like, what the heck is going on? Because the value that I need to open is called open, right? But open doesn't exist. Well, this right here is the name of my prop. So this is the name of the prop that I need to capture. So when I do this, everything is back to normal again. So you see now what I mean. This right here is the value of the prop, which is this one. This right here is the name of the prop that I'm trying to capture, which is the prop that I'm throwing from in here. Now let's not call it Lewis because that's a little presumptuous. That's my name. So I'm gonna call it handle open. And then I'm gonna come over here to the thing, and I'm gonna call it, and I'm gonna capture it by its name as handle open, and everything works just fine. So this is what is called a functional component, where you basically have a component with all the and you keep all the functions separated in here, and then you pass the prop with the value of the function, with the value of that function that it does, not the function like a JavaScript function, but its work, right? Its value. and you pass it into here so that you can get all the functionality from this import right here, from this component import, and you passing down all of the functionality into here so that you can still use it. That's a functional component. Now, a reusable component is a component that I can use everywhere else I want to. So I can basically grab this right here and take it somewhere else and use it, right? Now, this right here is not very reusable, because if I wanted to use another button like this, but I want it to be used for a different functionality, not the same functionality, which in this case is to open this disclosure panel right here. I want it to be used for something else, like to show an alert or something like that. Well, if I wanted to show an alert, if I wanted to do something different that isn't what this specific job, then I will need a reusable component. I don't think I can make this a reusable component, not that quickly. I will have to do a bunch of work to make something happen here, but hopefully we can get to a point where I can show you how to use something as which we will actually, yes, we will for sure get to a point where I can show you how to use a reusable component. Basically a component that you can build props that you can change anywhere you want and use the component for multiple uses, that it isn't one specific use. Like this one, for example. This one has one specific use, so it's not reusable. I can only use it for this purpose only. So it's not a reusable component. What it is it's a functional component, because it has all the functionality separated, which is good for separation of concerns. Okay, so if anything breaks, your nav bar won't break, your mobile menu button will break, and will be the only place that you need to fix it. Alright, so the last thing we got going on here is this little red thing here that is telling me that the handle open is missing its prop validation. You don't necessarily mean prop validation, but it is a good practice to use it, so we're gonna go over that. Now, however, you don't have prop validation because you don't have React prop types, I think it's called, yeah, prop types. So we're gonna have to bring that in. So let's go to our other terminal that we still have open, and we're gonna put npm add prop types, yeah, prop types, and we're gonna hit enter and let this do its thing. Done. All right, prop types is done. So now that we have prop types available, we can come over here and let's do import prop types from prop types. There you go. Now that we have that, we're gonna create our first prop types here. So we'll just close this so you can see what I'm doing. And how you build a prop types is by basically, well, there it is. You pick the name of the component that you want, dot prop types, and it kind of, if you hover over it, it tells you what's going on. See how you need to build it. And then that is going to include an object. So the mobile menu button, which is the name of the component, that prop types equals to this object, and inside the object we're gonna bring in the prop. There we go. We're gonna bring in the prop that we're working with, handle open, and we're gonna specify which kind of prop it is. Is it a function, an object, an array, an integer, a string, or a boolean, or any? I don't know. So in this case, it's a prop type and it's a boolean. And many times you're gonna need this. Sometimes you don't, but is it a require? If you put is require, then wherever you use that component, this mobile menu component, you have to specify handle open. It won't, if you make it require, if you make it require, you will not be able to use it like this. It will not work. So in order for it to work like this, you have to make sure, so in order for it to work with or without the handle open, just make sure that you take this off, and then it could work without having to name this prop over there. Now, in this case, you definitely need the handle open, so I'll leave it. All right, hit save, and now you can see that the red bar went away, everything is fine, everything is good, everything is hunky-dory. And here's this working correctly. And it went away also when I'm up here, and it comes right back when I'm in the mobile. Beautiful. All right, so that concludes how to make a reusable slash functional. This is how you make a functional component. Okay. I will probably make, let me see if I can turn okay, so actually let's just hit this right now because this is quick. For the logo, we don't need to make a reusable component because it's really that simple. So what, it's just a couple of lines. So yeah, we'll do it. All right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use that since that's a very easy one. I'm gonna let you guys handle this one as a homework. Okay. What I will be doing is I will be giving you a little bit of a cheat here. We already created in the assets folder an images folder with a logo in there. So I'm gonna add it here, but then you're gonna have to move this over when you do your component, correct? We're gonna import logo from assets, images, logo, PNG. There you go. Right from right here. Now that it is included there, it's imported there, then I can come over here and get rid of this Vite logo, and I'm gonna bring it as an object and call it logo, and then there it is. That's the new logo that we're doing. Don't worry about it, the dark, all of that area, we're gonna mess around with that in a minute. And this right here, we can just make it logo. It's just this alt here is just a name for whenever the logo doesn't show up, you get a name. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to turn this into another component. That's your homework. And then make sure that it works here just like this did. I mean, come on, this is easy, right? This is super easy. But remember the props. There is a prop here that you can carry along, okay? Make sure we do that. And also, if you dare, make the main menu as well another component somewhere else. And if you, don't worry about this. Yeah, don't worry about this. But if you do dare, do this one as well, okay? Now, when we come back, I'm gonna turn all this, into components, with you present, and then you're gonna check your work with mine and make sure that it worked. Don't wait until the next video to just copy what I'm doing. Try to do this on your own as a homework, right? Try to do this one. Don't worry about this one. We're gonna change that, and this one. Try to do it on your own, all right? And then watch my video and then see how you did. All right? All right. I'll see you in the next one.